হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম শ্রোতা বন্ধুরা। আশা করি আপনারা সবাই ভালো আছেন, সুস্থ আছেন আর অবশ্যই রিল্যাক্স রেডিওর সাথে আছেন। আমি প্রতি সোমবারের মতো চলে আসছি হাফসা ইসলাম আপনাদের সাথে। আজকে আমার সাথে দেখতে পাচ্ছেন একজন গেস্ট আছেন। গেস্টের সাথে পরিচয় হওয়ার আগে আমরা একটা ছোট্ট বিরতিতে যাব। কিন্তু বিরতিতে যাওয়ার আগে এই কথাই বলতে চাই যে আমার যে গেস্ট উনি কিন্তু শুদ্ধ বাংলা বলতে পারেন না। উনার জন্ম লন্ডনে। যার কারণে উনার সিলেটি ডায়ালেক্ট আর ইংলিশে কথা বলবেন। সো যার কারণে আমাদের বাংলা যদি বুঝতে ভুল হয় তাহলে আমাদেরকে কোয়েশ্চেন করতে পারেন। আমরা এটা শুধু বাংলা বলে দিতে পারব। তো যাচ্ছি একটা ছোট্ট বিরতিতে। বিরতির পরে আবার আসছি।
সকাল দুপুর সন্ধ্যা রাতে তোমার আমার কথা হবে রিল্যাক্স রেডিও বাংলায়। রিল্যাক্স রেডিও বাংলা।
রিল্যাক্স রেডিও বাংলা, সারাদিন সারাক্ষণ।
তো ফিরে আসলাম আবারও প্রতি সোমবারের মতো নতুন একজন গেস্টকে নিয়ে। আমার প্রোগ্রামে সবসময় একজন গেস্ট থাকেন। হয় বাংলাদেশ থেকে বা লন্ডন থেকে বা পৃথিবীর যেকোনো প্রান্ত থেকে আমি নিয়ে আসি। কোনো না কোনো একটা সমস্যা নিয়ে কথা বলার জন্য। তো আজকে আমরা যাকে নিয়ে আসছি উনার নাম হলো রেজনা খাতুন। তো রেজনা খাতুনের সাথে কথা বলব আমরা। রেজনা খাতুন কেন আসছেন, কি কারণে আসছেন আমরা জানব। কিন্তু আ রেজনা খাতুনের সম্পর্কে আগে জেনে নেই আমরা যে উনি কি কি করেন? উনার বড় হওয়া এগুলো নিয়ে একটু আগে জেনে নেই। তারপরে আমরা মূল কথাতে যাব। তো রেজনা, hello, welcome to the show.
Hello, hi. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And Rezna, could you tell me some bit about yourself?
Yep. So thank you, Afa, for having me today. My name is Rezna Khatun. I'm the author of my book, Why I Loved My Abuser. I also raise awareness on domestic abuse. I'm a mother of two teenagers, and basically, I live, eat, sleep. Everything I do is to raise awareness, just to bring more the subject to light. So আমরা সকলে এই সাবজেক্টের কথা মারতাম পারমু।
হুম,
And because এই সাবজেক্টটা কি খুব লুকাইন জিনিস, তো আমরা যত মারতাম পারি, um, যত মানুষ ইনভলভ হইন, অখলর লাগি ভালোইল। সো আমার বুক লেখছি আমি ওখানোর লাগি, সো হল আমরা কি ইনভলভ হইতাম, আমরা হলে মারতাম। And আমি আরকি শরম ভাঙ্গিয়া অকলতা খুইল্লা লেখছি আমার বুকো, what I went through from my childhood to my adulthood, because একটা psychological effect হইয়া আছে domestic abuse ও। So I wanted to show the psychological effect as well. আর আমরা খেনে um, we live in a very good society. আমরা খেনে আইসকু ই behavior accept করি। So
mhm.
আমি try করছি কি আমার বুকো যেনে দেখাইতাম the reason আমি accept করছি because আমার childhood a problem আছিল, and আমার childhood আমারে মালাইছে the person I was
Tell
as an
tell
adult.
tell tell me a bit about yourself as a
Okay.
childhood.
As a childhood, it was very, very bad because I grew up in a very toxic house. আমি ছোটতনে দেখেছি আমার আম্মা আব্বাই, মাইর খররা, আমার আম্মা আব্বাই, there was no, I didn't see a loving relationship. My dad, every 6 months to a year, Bangladesh was leave my mom. And then I was 6, from the age of 6, 7, I used to go to the benefit office with my mom, filling all the forms. I saw my mom crying all the time. It was,
How many brothers and sisters
that's
that
the
you
thing. Every year my mom had a baby. So we are 9 brothers and sisters.
have? Wow.
So my mom went through a very, very difficult life because remember she came to Britain, then English madzanuina. Where we lived, Kunu Bangalin nai. So we were the only
Okay.
Bengali person there. There was no Bengali meat shop. My mom couldn't even go to the doctors. We had so much racism growing up. I've witnessed people knocking on the door. My mom opens the door and the white people just used to punch her face in.
Oh my God.
We couldn't come out the house because of racism. So we had all that outside the place, but inside the house, we had other things going on with my mom and dad.
Mhm.
So আমরা used to হইছি হুরুমান্তনে ব্যবহার দেখিয়া, behavior দেখিয়া। So আমরা যে সময় বড় হইছি আমরা বুঝছি এটা normal.
Normal.
এক বেটা ওলা বেটিরে ট্রিট করা ঠিক আছে। that's how you love somebody. We were taught abuse is love. So when I went into an abusive relationship, for me, আমি পুরা বিশ্বাস করছি আমার জামাই আমারে লাভ করেন, but he didn't. And even though I can speak English, I was born in this country, I still didn't understand it. And like আমরা যত মাথি নানি, it's better because it doesn't matter where you come from, because হুরুমান্তরে যদি একটা জিনিস দেখিয়াও আমরা ব্রেইনে অটোমেটিকলি
অটোমেটিক্যালি
অ্যাকসেপ্ট
এটা
করে।
যেমন আমরা ছোট থাকতে আমরা বাপ মা কইন যে মেয়ে জন্মাইছে তারা গরুর খাম করতো,
করতা।
তারা গরুর জ্বলিয়ে ব্যস্ত থাকতো, সংসার কিভাবে লুক আফটার
জি
করতে
হয়।
হয় ওইভাবে রেইজ করতে হয়।
জি হয়।
বাপ মা কইতা যে তুমি গরুর খাম করতে হইব, রাঁধতে হইব, গরু
হ্যাঁ।
পরিষ্কার করতে এটা মেয়ের জব।
জি হয়।
ছেলের জব করি হয় না।
হয় না।
আর ছেলেরা বাড়া যাইতো, খাম করতো,
হুম।
খেলাইতো, বন্ধু-বান্ধব লিয়া। কিন্তু মেয়েরা কিন্তু এগুলা
না।
সুযোগ দেওয়া হয় না।
Because আমি যে সময় বড় হইলাম, আমার আব্বাই I can still remember every day খালি কইতা 14 বছর হই যাক, 15 বছর হই যাক,
বিয়া
বিয়া
দিলাইতাম।
দিলাইমু।
And it
স্কুলও
happened.
যাইও না। আমার
It
আব্বা কইতা স্কুলও যাইও না,
and
স্কুল
it
বেঠিন যাওয়া লাগে না।
at that time, it did happen.
Yeah,
Girls were sent back home.
yeah.
They had to get married.
So my dad sent me back home when I was 14,
There you
and
go.
he wanted me to get married to somebody who was 36.
Wow.
But আমার আব্বাই প্রতিদিন কইতে স্কুলও যাওয়া লাগতো না, বেঠিন তোর এডুকেশনও দরকার নাই। গরো বউ 14-15 হই যাব, বিয়া দিলাইমু শেষ।
Wow.
But they never used to think what's going to happen to her afterwards.
Mm.
So we had a complete different upbringing, but it was hard. It was hard. I mean, I don't blame my mum, but it was hard for her as well, because how she
If I go back a bit, your
Mm.
mom, then কতটুক লেখাপড়া করছেন বা
nothing,
nothing.
nothing.
So basically, she came to a country where she
Yeah,
had no knowledge
no
whatsoever. She cannot
knowledge,
speak the language. She
no
could not communicate. So
nothing.
she's just stuck at home.
She was stuck at home having children every year,
Every year.
while my dad was going Bangladesh and doing whatever he was doing. She's raising all these children one after another, do babies.
So your father was quite abusive. মারধর করতেন?
Yes, my dad was abusive. There
Is
was
it verbal or
it was verbal, it was physical. There was other things that happened in my house with me as well as a child, with other family members that used to come. But when you talk about these things, it's shameful. Tara, like if I said to my mom,
so
amare একজন মাইনছে
basically
ওটা
child
করছে,
abuse?
child abuse. My mom কইবা ইটা মাইতো না, ইয়াল্লা যে শরম ইজ্জত যাইব
ইজ্জত
কি,
যাইব গিয়া।
but often because আমরা অখলে matram, there's a lot of stuff
Did
on
that
social
happen to
media.
any members of your family?
It's happened to me. It's
Right.
happened quite a lot. But when যে সময় আমার আম্মার আমি কইছি ওলা she কইছে ইয়াল্লা মাতিস না, ইয়াল্লা শরম হইব, আমরা জাত যাইব কি। I was thinking,
How old were you? at
it
that time?
started from my earliest memory was when I was 6.
And
but-
who was it done by?
It was done by family members, and I pray to God now I don't bump into them, because I am not that person anymore now. I'll probably expose.
How old was that person?
There was not just one, there was quite a few, and they started, the age would probably be from 16, 17 to 40. Yeah, and it's all in my book. So
Well, I didn't get the chance to read your book.
I'm
You
so
never
sorry.
gave me a
Yeah,
copy.
I'm so sorry. I was waiting for a delivery and it didn't come on time.
No worries.
Wow.
But so how did you deal with that?
It's very, very hard to deal with these trauma, because when you have childhood trauma, এটা follow করে তোমার into adult life. You have no choice, because your brain takes it in, তোমার শরীরের muscle, it takes it in, it soaks it up. So automatically, as a child, whatever happens to you, it goes into your adult life. Yeah.
Definitely.
So when I got married to my partner when I was 17, automatically I attached to abuse, because that's all I know. Because of my trauma, I couldn't attach to somebody good, because it wouldn't work.
There is a
আমার
saying
brain
যে
accept করতো না।
negative
Yeah,
attract করবো
করবো।
because you're always
Yeah, because
negative.
আমি
So
already been through this abuse. All I understand and know, my energy, my body, everything will only attract that. Because আমি বালা জানতাম না। But if
No.
the good person came along, I'd be like, there's something wrong with this person. Because I have to
Absolutely.
attach to what I know.
Definitely.
So I attached to a narcissist, which was the biggest abuser than what I already had. you know. So, and that started from the second
But
week.
you said earlier on that the way your father used to behave with your mom,
Yeah,
you thought that's a normal life,
yeah.
normal, right? So you would not know that how normal life's supposed to be.
No,
So if you've seen somebody lovey-dovey, the couple, they're having
yeah,
good time together, they are doing very positive thing,
yeah.
you'd say there's something wrong with
I
these
would
people.
say, and also I didn't see that much because from the second week, so what narcissist people do, when they meet you, so because I'm an empath, I'm very kind, I'm very understanding. That's an empathetic person. Narcissists, they don't have no feeling. They know when there's an empath near them. Straight away, they take all the information out of you, manipulate you. তোমার যে মায়া করবা, তোমার whole information, childhood, তুমিও হলতা হইবা because this person's understanding you. তোমার হলতা হুনরা, তুমি কইবা, ও এই মানুষ যে বালা।
Because all you needed is somebody to listen to
Listen to, and somebody to validate me and say, hey, you are okay. You are a beautiful person and I love you. That was it. আমি আস্তা শেষ, you know. And I told him everything. From the second week, then he used my own information to manipulate me, to put fear in me.
How was your marriage, love marriage or
Do you know what it is? It wasn't a love marriage, but when I met him, because he listened to me, he understood me, and I thought he's going to be my protector from my family. But instead, he became a biggest abuser, and he isolated me from my family, and he used my information to isolate me from them.
Wow.
So it wasn't just physical. The physical abuse started from the second week, and I just went into fear and I just put up with it. But when the physical abuse stopped after 12 years, the next 13 years, so I was with him for 25 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
It's my whole life is gone on abuse, you know, from childhood to adult life is just abuse. Then it turned into emotional, mental, gaslighting. And gaslighting is very, very serious abuse because tara amrar brain dot thinking change horilai.
If you want to explain for our listeners, what is gaslighting?
Gaslighting is very, very manipulation. Tara amrar zela buzai bazinish, তুমি বিশ্বাস হলতা করবাই তারা আমরা নিজর বিলিভ ক্যারেক্টার তারা বদলাইলাইন তো আমার গাসলাইটিং তাইন করতা হইতা জেনে আমার জাদুর দোষ and he used to show me things to prove to me that আমার হাসাব জাদু করছেন ও জেনে আমারে মাইনছে তাইনর ফ্যামিলি জাদু করছেন এর লাগে আমি তাইনর লগে সাইরাম না থাকতাম তো because then আমি ডরাইমু ও আমি খুলানো যাইমু আমারে জাদু কইরা হলে মারিলিরা আমি কি তখন জিন হলে আমারে নিবাগি and he used to show me evidence that this is black magic. So I believed it, but even though I believed I have my own faith, the manipulation was so powerful, it takes my faith away. The manipulation makes me feel so worthless, like small, like this, like I'm not worth anything. He would say to me every day, no one wants you. তোমারে কেউ চায় না। তোমার মুখ দেখছনি, তুমি মানুষ কেলা দেখছনি, তোমার লগে যেন আমি থাকরাম ওখান খুব শুক্রিয়া। আমার লাগি বেটিনতে পাগল, বা আমি তোমার লগে থাকরাম because I'm such a good man, I'm so handsome, you should be lucky I'm staying with you. You know, and every day he would say to me, you're so dumb, you have no brain. He would call me donkey in front of my family, friends. By then, the manipulation was so powerful. I actually went like this, my whole inside of
and
my...
you believed on this?
I 100% believed everything. I couldn't even look in the mirror. When I used to look in the mirror, I used to get scared that that was me because I couldn't recognize myself. Yeah, I couldn't recognize who I was anymore. And it wasn't just here and there. It started from the morning until I went to sleep.
Didn't he go to work?
No, because I used to say to him, because he used to work from the house, but sometimes I used to say, why don't you go and get a job outside? He used to say, why? তোমার বনি লগে গে আড্ডা মারতাই নানি, family লগে গে আড্ডা মারতাই, so বেটাইন তোর বাইদি সাইতাই, oh, you want another man? আমারে সাও না নানি, you don't love me. So you think, oh, te khamne khuibar, kham korban lagi, because he's going to think I want another man. So he becomes the victim, and it's like I'm the nasty person, you know? And if he gets a headache, he'll be like, oh, you're giving me headache, কখন আমার brain damage হইছে, but it's going to be your fault. তুমি আমারে brain damage দিরাই. Or your kids are going to be fatherless, you know, because of you. You just want to go and sit with your sisters. But in a normal behavior, a good person will say, hey, why don't you go and see your family?
Exactly.
hey, why don't you go and spend time with your sisters? You know, they're your sisters. And if anything happened between me and my sister, a normal person will try to make us up. You
These
know,
people, they won't.
they want to isolate you. They want to keep you to themselves. They just give you so much information to change your behavior, your mind thinking, so they can control you.
Like you mentioned, there are different types of abuse.
Yes.
Physical abuse, financial
Yeah.
abuse, emotional abuse,
Yeah.
gaslighting,
Yeah.
and the one you just said.
Spiritual abuse, where
Spiritual
they
ab-
use the God's word, they use black
Exactly.
magic, they use the church, the mosque, imams. You know, it happens in every country.
It does. And when they do that, if you're that type of person that believe on things, then
Yeah.
you intend to believe on them,
That you will
and you'll say, oh yeah, that's true.
True.
That's what's going to happen
Yeah.
to me. That's why it's
Yeah.
happening to me. And it will make you feel lack your confidence. At the same time,
And
it
the
will
fear
make you feel stupid as well.
Exactly. The fear kicks in, and the fear they control you with the fear. The fear kicks in, but then at the same time you feel so stupid. I used to feel so stupid. I used to think, what is this? Am I that dumb? But then I used to think, oh, but he's saying I'm dumb, and he's showing me this proof. That means I am dumb. You know. But then when I used to go on into the school playground, and I wasn't allowed to speak to anybody. He used to take me in the car and bring me back home. Because of fear, information failing because the control was so much. So sometimes they used to say, oh, Rezna, you're such a clever person. I'm like, huh? Am I? I used to get shaken. I was like, wow, this person said, because by then all my family were gone. I didn't even have a phone. Everybody had phones, mobile phone. আমার phone আছিল না। খালি গরো and all his fetar bullshit math all day long. And then randram and randa boro boro plate দেখা বাইরাম and I'm crying and I'm still feeding him. You know, খাফর দুইরাম, iron কররাম, you know, doing everything for him as a wife should, because that's how I was trained.
So if you tell me একটা দিন or typical a day, what usually happens?
You know what? Every morning, kumtunu itallar gese dua kori, I don't have this day anymore. First thing in the morning, kumtunu ita shouting. Straight away shouting. And then I never used to say nothing because I had enough now, because I'm thinking, kuchu koile ohan ulta. Echta samalaile ulta. Everything is wrong. Nothing is right by me. You know, so Gumtunu Ita is shouting, constantly shouting, oh, where's my this, where's that? Oh, make my breakfast. So he'll shout, I will cry. I'll still go and make his breakfast. Breakfast ay naato dilam. Then he'll eat. But they drop my daughter off to school, come home, he bar bam bam bam, fetar fetar. He'll just go on and on and on. Sometimes I used to pretend I'm tired so I can go to sleep. You know, it got to the point at the end, he was just doing so much Tabiz Zalani, this, that, speaking to imams and all these people because he believes so much in all this Zadutuna, Zinisho, you know, it's like.
So probably he was doing Jadutona than anyone else.
God knows, but he was like completely gone by then. And then by 3:30, you know, I used to pick up my daughter and I'm constantly cooking, cleaning. And it was just like either cleaning, cooking, or getting shouted at. Even if I would put a cup down, he'll say, you've done that wrong. You know, why you put this cup down? You don't know anything. You're so stupid. You don't even know how to put a cup down. And while you behave like this, and then you expect to go into the bed and spend time with this woman. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
And this is where it all goes wrong, because people think you can treat somebody bad throughout the day, but then they think you can go and share the it doesn't work.
I mean, it's very hard to even stay next to that person.
Exactly.
And let alone having that physical relationship.
Exactly.
And if you don't do it, then what he used to do?
Then he used to say, oh, that means you like somebody else. Tumi amare balafao na, arok betare balafao. I'm like, ami gortone bariram na khare balafaitam. Then the postman was banned. Postman aile, I wasn't allowed to go to the door. The gas man, the electric man, they were all banned from my house. He told me if they knock on the door, say you've got anxiety, you can't open the door.
Wow.
Yeah, so everybody
if there's any work needs to be done, then how would you do it?
So when we used to do any work, there was he would choose who's going to come to my house.
Right.
Yeah, and that person has to be in his mind, not good looking, can't speak English, and I have to stay out the way. Even when we went doctors, he would harass me so much. Was it a Mayo doctor? This and that. I was very ill one time, and I had to go hospital because I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis, autoimmune disease in my kidneys. And the doctor had to, and he actually ended up having a very aggressive argument with the doctor because he just touched my knee. So I became a liar. So আমি ডাক্তার ওখানে যাইতাম আই আমি সামাইতা হইতাম ও বেটি মানুষ আছিল. I never
Well,
used to,
you had no choice, did
I
you?
had no choice because I had to protect myself.
Exactly.
You know, when I go to the dentist, he used to take me in the car away. I said, I'm hojta mo dentist betasil. I mean,
Betiasil.
betiasil, but it was a man. Even my daughter used to take a physio. She was growing up. She was 7, 8, 9. My daughter was in the lie. Tayomi samattamra lage, yeah, abba, it was a woman.
But you didn't really need to do that. You could have been
Because
straight and open.
Exactly. But the reason I had to do because I was scared. When I look at his face, sera bodli bozene, that means the anger's coming in. So when I know the anger's coming in, then I turn into that little girl of fear from my childhood.
We'll take a small break. শ্রোতা বন্ধুরা, আমরা যাচ্ছি একটু ছোট বিরতিতে। বিরতির পরে আবারও আসবো, কেউ কোথাও যাবেন না।
For excessive research and bad experiences, he finally found out Sure Secure, the best CCTV security service systems provider. They have experience over 15 years long. They provide quality and professional security installations, from intruder alarms to CCTV systems, in addition to access control. Their products are of the highest quality, using up-to-date technology equipment range. Their CCTV range allows for live viewing, playback, and the ability to digitally zoom using high-definition images. The CCTV images can be monitored in crystal clear Full HD 1080p and 4K quality with a smartphone, tablet, desktop computer, or even your laptop. With Sure Secure, now Bob can check up on his properties remotely from anywhere in the world. After each installation, they make sure that you are fully trained in order to use the equipment and respond quickly to any fault. Whether you're looking for domestic, commercial, or industrial services, Sure Secure will design and build the perfect security system for all your needs.
শ্রোতা বন্ধুরা, ফিরে আসলাম ছোট্ট একটা বিরতির পর। আমার সাথে আছেন রেজনা খাতুন। ওনার জীবনের স্টোরি নিয়ে কথা বলছেন। উনি একটা বই পাবলিশ করেছেন, আই লাভ মাই অ্যাবিউজার। তো এটা কেন লিখেছেন এইটাই উনি এক্সপ্লেইন করছেন যে উনার এই বই লেখার উদ্দেশ্যটা কি ছিল। তো উনার কাছ থেকে জানতে পারলাম যে উনার ছোটবেলায় উনার বাবা-মা উনার আম বাবা যেরকম মার সাথে অ্যাবিউসিভ সম্পর্ক ছিল, তেমনি উনার লাইফে উনার পার্টনারও এরকম অ্যাবিউসিভ ছিলেন। তো যার কারণে উনার লাইফ অন্যরকম হতে পারত, ভালো হইতে পারত। কিন্তু উনার লাইফটা একটু কি বলবো যে খারাপের দিকে ছিল। তো উনার কাছ থেকে আমরা জানি বাকি অংশটুকু। So, Rezna, I'm a bit shaken by your story.
Oh, sorry.
Because no, it's okay. I have done many interpreting jobs, and I know these sort of things happen. But because I know you for a while now, and learning about you, because previously I never asked you. I know
Yeah.
there's something.
I'm always laughing and
You're always
joking.
laughing and
Yeah.
joking, but
Yeah.
when we see somebody laughing, joking, you would never think somebody
Yeah.
went through so much like this. But then again, people who laughs and jokes a lot,
It's the
they
one.
have the negative impact in their life, and that's how they try to
Cope.
make them.
Yeah.
That's their coping mechanism, to be quite
Yeah.
honest. Having that laughter. So you were saying just before we went to the break that about your child. How many children you've got?
So I've got 2 children. My son is 23 and my daughter 17. And I love, thank God Allah, because I didn't want them to repeat the same cycle as me. আমি চাইছি না তারা আমি যেখান accept করলাম আর যেখান tarare dekhairam is normal. I didn't want them to be like that. I say
Mhm.
sinamar faboroya pustozene betintore mara is okay.
It's okay.
And I didn't want my daughter because furinte tara bafre beshi bala fine. Tara
Definitely.
buzun tarar abba is the man of the dream.
Yeah.
So the furintor first love is the dad. Ami say sina amar fuide bustozene, oh, this is the type of man that's good for me.
Mhm.
And for her to go for the same thing. Because খুব কষ্ট হইছে to get out of that relationship. It's not easy.
How did if you explain how you
It's
managed,
not
because
easy because
your story will empower other women when they
honestly,
listen to
ladies,
this.
আমি অহলরে কইরাম,
It's not just
it's not,
ladies only, it's
and
men as
men,
well.
it's
Men as
not
well.
easy. It's খুব কষ্ট হয় because it's like an addiction. আমরা এই মানুষের লগে অতদিন থাকছি, একটা খের হয়, একটা কালচার আছে, মানছি কিতা হইবা, but it's very, very hard to leave an abusive relationship. It has to be done. Once you, তুমি যে সময় ডিসাইড করিলাও না নিজেনে, একটা তুমি একসেপ্ট করিলাও যে না আমি ইন্তনে যাইতাম ওইব, আস্তে আস্তে একটা সাহস পারে।
Mm.
But the day I left him, my daughter was 11 that time, and that was the first time because taino holta lukaya horta when the kids are in school, especially the physical violence.
Right.
So he used to do emotional abuse, mental abuse, and all that in front of the kids. But maramarinani, when they're in school, he used to do or lukaya. He'll grab me or spit on my face, like golatik ni mari dorba or like safety ba, lukaya. But that day, because remember, আমি কিচ্ছু মারতাম না। খালি গাইল্লাইতা, ফেটার, ফেটার হরতা, ওতা, I just used to sit there quietly. He used to go on and on for ১ ঘন্টা, ২ ঘন্টা। আমি মনে হইতাম হেরানোই নানি, you know? It's like this man doesn't get
He's like
tired.
Ariston Battery.
It just
He
goes on and on,
on
he
and on
doesn't
and
get
on.
tired. And আমি আসতাম, আমি কইতাম প্লেট বইরা ভাত খাবাইরা, আমার ওতা করবার লাগে আমার লগে, this is not right. But that day my daughter was home. খালি হাউকাইরা। আর আমি I don't know how কিলা আমি জিকাইছে মইছি তুমি সবসময় খালি angry কেনে? আমি কিচ্ছু মাতি না, বা একলা খালি ফেটার করো। And he went mad.
Wow.
His face went raw red, the color changed, he started shaking in anger, গলার রোগুক বারইয়া, and he grabbed me, ও মাথাতুনি ইটামারি আরখ মাথাত ফালাইছইন।
Wow. And
And
that was front of a kid.
my daughter was 11, she grabbed her dad and she goes, Daddy, please don't hurt my mom. আমি যে সময় শুনছি তাই ওলা তাই বাপরে বেগিন করে আমার মারে মাইরো না। And the way she looked at me, Afa, I felt so worthless and humiliated. আমি বুঝছি আমার কোনো খাফর ফিরল না। ওলা আমি বেশরম তাইর হংকে হইছি আরকি। And I thought, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I can't let my daughter see me like this. And that was my wake up call. I actually ended up fainting. I collapsed on the floor. And then next thing I know, আমি ঘুম থেকে উঠছি, আমার ফুয়া, my son was holding me. I don't know what happened that day. I felt like something came in me, some courage. I actually lifted my bag and I turned around and said to him, Ere, you live in my house and you abuse me. I said, I'm leaving you. I'm going to go to my dad's. I said, I'm going to call the police. I grabbed my bag and I walked, and he just looked at me because he didn't think I was going to leave. He's thinking, oh, stupid Betty, idiot, Zaiboni.
Zaitona.
Amare
She's
pale
got no
Zaitona,
courage
আমি তো
to do
control
that.
করছি। She's
Yeah.
not gonna go nervous. She ain't got no strength. Bukita. He's thinking that. And when I walked out, and I'm like, Zairam. And the bus stop just 5 minutes away. My dad's house is only 10 minutes. Khali said, and I'm thinking, Pisidin, yeah, he's gonna grab me. And I'm just walking quickly with my kids. Got on the bus straight away, and I just went to my dad's house, and that was it. And my dad called the police for me. I didn't have the strength.
Funny thing is, your
My
dad called
dad
the police.
was, that's what
He
I
was
said.
the abuser. And
My dad saved me. My dad called the police. I didn't have, the control was so much that phone on 999 kuritam partam na. I used to think he's watching my finger. I used to think he's watching behind me and he can see I'm dialing the number. So my dad actually called the police and my dad saved me. And my mom was saying, "Na, police take care of me." Because matis na, tumis beti, police taktam na, amra furire maira rakhen na, ota khali tu khoros. And then my dad called the police, and the police came. And honest to God, I had the best police officers because I hear so many stories that police don't give no empathy, understanding. And that day I was something was protecting me that day for me to leave him and for me to have the best 2 police officers, because they sorted everything out for me. They actually went to him, they arrested him, they came back to my dad's house, they collected me. They said to me, "It's your house, Rezna. You stay in your house." And I said, "No, I don't want to go there. I don't know what's going to." He goes, "It's your house." You know, they took me back in the car, and they explained to me the process, what's going to happen. They were very empathetic. You know, I was very lucky to have them. But I think the reason I had them, because they were like that, because one of the officers said to me, the reason I'm in this job is because my mum was in a domestic abuse relationship for 10 years, and I understand you. And I said, "No one's going to believe me." He goes, "I believe you." Because the way he controlled me, I thought no one's going to believe me. And when I used to tell my mum sometimes, because I wasn't allowed to phone her, "Akhta lukaya phone kortam." And my mum used to say, "Abu, tu tikasotni, you know, are you still alive?" And I said, "Mom, he does this, ota khore, ota." "Na, beti, ta tikasi, ta thura maya khore, thore beshi maya khore." I used to think, huh? You know, but then she didn't know any better, because she was the same.
Exactly.
She was the same. So when this officer explained everything to me, and he said, "You know, this is what happened. I saw my mom." And he said, "I believe you." That was the biggest happy feeling, that it made me feel I am worth something, and I am telling the truth, and people will believe me, because he made that no one's going to believe. He was the angel and I was the devil.
It's always the case, you know, man or
Yeah.
perpetrator, whoever it is, it could be man or the
Yeah,
women,
or woman.
they know how to sweet
Manipulate
talk,
it. Yes.
by manipulate people
Yeah.
by sweet talk.
Yeah.
তারা কথা মাথুনলে বোঝা যায় যে তারা সবচেয়ে ভালো মানুষ
সবচেয়ে ভালো।
আর তুমি খারাপ,
হয়।
because
Mm.
maybe because the way you dress up,
Yeah.
maybe because you're outspoken,
Yeah.
maybe because you are মানে তুমি যেভাবে আছো এটারে
Mm.
তারা অন্যভাবে সাজাইয়া
Yeah.
মাতিয়া যে সুন্দর অন্য
Mm.
মানুষের বিশ্বাস করাইবা
Because
যে
tain ochlora hoita tain se pala amare look after khoda ar amar logi jine bora. So everyone
there
used to
you
think,
go.
"Oh, i beti to fagol, i beti zoto zadu, beta jene beti re luya takhero khano shukriya." And
Exactly.
that's how ola taina ki manchure busaitar manche hasaro bishar. And he was the type of person that ta khoid manche bishas korta. You know, so
There are people like that.
yeah,
তারা কথা কিন্তু easily মানুষ বিশ্বাস
yeah.
করে।
So even when he bought her car, than gari luita na ni, than hota, "Oh, ami gari luiram because amar bou esa." I'm like, huh? Ami gari driving no zani na. You know, and I would rather go on the bus, because I get fresh air. I don't want to be in the car controlled by you day and night, sitting in the car
Exactly.
24 hours a day, always with you. I want to have some breathing space. But na ami amar bou যে খানছে আমিও খান করলাম, এর লাগি আমি গাড়ি লইলাম, because আমার বউর favorite গাড়ি. You know, গরো কোনো খাম in the house, I couldn't even move a piece of furniture. He used to go crazy. The furniture had to be the way he wants
He
it.
wants to.
You know, I couldn't paint a wall without him saying, "Yes, you can paint." And if we did any work being cute, he'll say to me, "Which paint color shall I choose?" So I'll say, "Ochta." He'll manipulate the whole situation and make me agree the color he
He
wants.
wants.
And they have the power and the ability to do that, because they've already started slowly controlling you. You become so controlled. I'm a puppet. I was a puppet, you know. So he pulled the string and I'll say how high. And it's done with building up, you know. And they know how to do this.
Definitely.
They know. They have
Otherwise it wouldn't take you
it wouldn't
25
work.
years.
Yeah,
25 years for you to understand
it's
this.
like they have a PhD in how to
Manipulate people.
manipulate people.
Absolutely true. When it's, I don't know what to say really. It's really
It has been a long journey, because I've only been from this situation. Itabe Bahartana, I've been free for 6 years, and in that 6 years, I've met so many amazing people. Hotomanu Shamal Laifaison, who've helped me, who have, you know, guided me. And I've gone to a stage now, support kori, and we want to look after each other, we want to support
Definitely.
each other. And selfish হইয়া লাভ নাই।
No.
Selfish it doesn't take you nowhere। একদিনও লাগি তুমি কেবল selfish দৌড়নি যেতে পারো, you can achieve something, but in the long run that selfishness will eat you up, You know, and I always say to people, যদিন তুমি সুন্দর healthy relationship করতে পারো না, don't go in a relationship.
No.
You know, even in a marriage, as Khalko, we have under lot of opportunities on. We have a lot of social media access. There's a lot of abuse on TikTok, on Instagram. Um, like there's a lot of us ladies who are doing amazing work raising awareness and to help asafa. You know, I know a lot of times I'm the foolish dachtam saying because I'm the doray social services get involved. I'm the full tenter kota sinta khori. Then
Absolutely.
they want access, but you always have to stay a step ahead. Ohol সময় চিন্তা করতে হয়, আমি অখটা করমু কিলা, অখটা করলে আমার অখটা ওইব কিলা. You have to find the right.
No, look at you. You knew how to speak the language.
Yes,
You were brought up in this country.
I was born in this country.
Yeah, brought up in this
Yeah.
country. But yet you didn't know how to deal with these
No,
situations.
no.
Somebody coming from any other part of the
Yes,
world
yeah.
in this country or even in their own country.
They don't know.
Same.
Yeah.
Nobody, many people, they don't know
No.
what to do.
No.
The other day I was talking to somebody and I was mentioning about marriage counseling. She goes, I wasn't aware of these kind of
Yeah.
services are available. Lot of people, they don't know
Yeah.
where to go into
Yeah.
if they are in a situation. So how do we get these people to know these kind of services are available?
Do you know what it is? For them type of people, it's very hard because a normal person, if you go into Google now and put domestic abuse in my area, all the links come up. And we are able to
But
follow.
not everybody.
But when somebody doesn't understand English, tara dorain, yalla ar zamaya khoiba tor furutain nibo gi ami gon nimu gi ita mari bar khoira dimu kunano saibe tor mai ni boni tor bafe ni boni, you know, they do all this stuff. And this is why, like, you know, Shaina Chowdhury, she's doing the domestic women's voice, and she's trying to do it for the ethnic minority where Bengali ladies who can't speak English, tara ge exara 10 minute matta parba আর বুঝতে পারবা যে একটা help আছে.
Definitely.
You know, because they're not going to call the police. I couldn't call the police. Atara kilak police ta, but they kita hoiba.
We'll come to that. We need to go for a short break. So শ্রোতা বন্ধুরা, আমরা যাচ্ছি একটু ছোট বিরতিতে, বিরতির পরে আবারও আসছি।
সিলেটের স্বনামধন্য বেকিং ও কুকিং ম্যাটেরিয়ালস শপ বেকারি পাইকারি বাজার।
এখানে আপনি পাবেন কেক, পিৎজা, চাইনিজ ও কন্টিনেন্টাল খাবার তৈরির সকল উপাদান সহ ডেকোরেশন আইটেম।
এখানে একই ছাদের নিচে পাবেন রান্নার সকল সমস্যার সমাধান পাইকারি ও খুচরা মূল্যে।
অফলাইন কেনাকাটার পাশাপাশি পাচ্ছেন অনলাইনে অর্ডার করার সুযোগ।
সারা দেশে হোম ডেলিভারি দেওয়া হয়।
বেকারি পাইকারি বাজারের সকল পণ্য বিদেশ থেকে আমদানি করা হয়,
যা অত্যন্ত গুণগত মান সম্পন্ন। প্রোডাক্ট মেকিং থেকে শুরু করে প্যাকেজিং এর সকল সমস্যার সমাধানের জন্য আজই আসুন বেকারি পাইকারি বাজারে। বেকারি পাইকারি বাজার, তালতলা পার্ক ভিউ হাসপাতালের বিপরীত পার্শ্বে, সিলেট।
অথবা সরাসরি ফোন করুন 01917480081।
শ্রোতা বন্ধুরা, ফিরে আসলাম ছোট্ট একটা বিরতির পর। আমরা রেজনা খাতুনের সাথে কথা বলছি ডোমেস্টিক ভায়োলেন্স নিয়ে। ওনার লাইফের অভিজ্ঞতা উনি শেয়ার করছেন। তো Rezna, before we went to the break, we were discussing about, well, you were saying that the services, Googling and all that. I know many people, they don't have that access,
No,
or they don't know.
No.
Or say if somebody came to this country fairly new.
Yeah.
They got pregnant in Bangladesh and they came to this country. They haven't got that long-term visa yet, you know.
Yeah. So they're in a bigger trap with their partner.
With their partner. They cannot speak the language. They don't know where to go. So what can they do if they're listening to this?
The only service I know that provides this in Newham is the Magpie Project. But saying that they don't speak their English and they have to bring interpreters in. So this is the reason Shaina Chowdhury, who does Women's Voice, is trying to do this, provide this service.
I mean, that's a long way.
Yeah, that's
they
a
don't
long
know.
way.
But
At the moment,
whoever going through this process, তারা যদি বাংলা মাপতেও না পারেন,
do you know
I
the
mean
reason?
English মাপতেও না পারেন, first person they can go to is their GP.
Yeah.
This is the best.
The thing is, they won't go to the GP. You know why? Because they're scared that one day they're going to go with the husband and the husband's going to find out. Because remember, These women don't go GP because they can't speak English. The husband takes them.
Takes them.
Yeah. So it's either you speak to a friend or somebody in your family helps you. There is not, they can't do anything. They can't access any information because there is no information in,
It's true.
there's not a service that's provided only Bengali. Because I speak English. I was born in here and I couldn't go doctors on my own because when they're abusing you, they're always scared that you're going to find out things. So these, even when they go
Not
shopping,
find out things. They're scared that you might go and tell somebody. Something.
Even have you noticed when they go shopping, the husband's always with them.
Yeah.
You know, they take them in the car, they go shopping. There's this on Thursdays, I go to an event every Thursday, and these women are in the house 6 days a week. Only one day they come out the house when the husband takes them shopping. These women are young, from 25 to 35 to 40. They do not speak a word of English, and they live in London. They've been here and they've got kids. They don't speak English. They don't know how to phone the doctor and make an appointment. They have to wait for the husband to come home
To make the
on his day off to make the appointment. They don't see the husband for 6 days. He's working somewhere very far. Devon, Plymouth,
But
Bournemouth.
for these women, they have their relatives, so they can speak to their relatives to help them.
Yeah.
But those women whose
How
husband
many
works from
cultured
home,
women how many cultured women do you know when they're very type cultured and they follow quite strict religion will actually step in and say, hey, leave your husband?
No.
None. I haven't met any.
None.
You know, and it's not just the religion. It's I went to a Somalian event a couple of weeks ago. There was 40 women in that room. And you know me, I talk a lot. I ask everybody question. I want to know everything. Out of 40 women, 38 women, Somalian women were abused and only 2 were married.
Wow.
So it's not just our community, it's everywhere.
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 It's everywhere.
You know, even in Russia, in Bulgaria, in China, it's the individual behavior and it happens everywhere. Like আমরা যে সময় হুরু আসলাম বড়ইরাম আমরা রাব্বা হল সময় হয়তো ও খালা বেটাইন বাত খালা বেটাইন তাইয়া তোমরা ফিটিলি বা জলদি ভাত খাও. But my dad was doing the same thing. He was teaching us. You know, but you have to come to a point in your life to accept its abuse and you have to break the cycle.
Did you ever make it point across to your dad that he was abusing you?
You know what it is? Now I'm a different person. I tell my mom and dad every day, this is what you done. And my dad like, kita hortam, sorry gomai. My dad's very charming. He will like, sorry gomai, sorry, you know, what can I do? He's gone really old. But every time I'm there, I tell my mom, because of you, all your kids have suffered. Because of you, I had a terrible life. And I know you can't fix that, but they have apologized to me. And they said there's a lot of things that they did wrong to me from a very young age. But I have to fix all that in my adult life. They can't fix anything for me. You know, আমি হলতা ঠিক করতাম হইব. And that's a very, very you know, when you leave abusive relationship, that your healing journey starts. You know, you have to heal as a person. You have to be mentally, emotionally prepared for outside world. Because when I left him, I mean, you know, I used to stumble. Amar voice ek kota ulta balta o ya rohlamara loya ashta, and I used to just joke it off. You know, but I knew what was happening to me. And আমি চাইছি আমার নিজের আমি fix করতাম. আমি চাইছি আমার ফুরুতেন তো লাগি আমি বালা মানুষ হইতাম. You know, I wanted to be a better person. But it is very, very hard, Afa. But it has to be done.
It is hard. It is hard. But going back to the question that আমরা যারা নতুন আইছেন বা যারা ইংলিশ মাত্র না তারারে আমরা কিভাবে, because they are the most vulnerable people. They need to access this kind of services.
Yeah.
তুমি আমি যে কোনো জায়গা দিয়ে কই দিতাম ফার্মো আমরা ফোন পিক আপ করিও 99 কল করিও আমরা মাতিলতাম ফার্মো, but যারা মাত্তা পারেন না, somebody has to be their voice. And I think someone has to work towards that.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned Shahina.
Yeah.
She's trying to do this, and I respect her.
Yeah.
That she's trying to do something for the women, but at the same time, it will take long. It's a long term when it gets in place. But before that, what will happen?
Do you know what? Before that, you can go to your GP, and you can tell your GP it's in very, very confidence. But GPs don't have much access to information. They have a certain time slot, and all GPs do is refer you. So they will refer you to domestic abuse or your local refuge or the local project that's working with domestic abuse, but then they leave you. You need somebody to take
To
you
follow
through.
up.
You need somebody to say, oh, আমি তোমারে look after হমো, হলতা ঠিক হইব, তুমি চিন্তা কইরো না, আমি আছি. Because taking that first step to go and get help is the biggest fear breaker. For them to do that, it's like ভিতরে খাফতে খাফতে, জামাইয়া জানি লিবো, ডরাইতে তুমি মরি জিরায়. GPs do help, but the help is very limited. They don't take you through the whole process. They'll just refer you. So we do need more services. We need services for women who can't speak the language.
Definitely.
And I am aware of Magpie Project, like I mentioned before, in Newham, and they provide interpreters. But for you to even contact them, it's in English. But I think if women were aware, especially in Tower Hamlets, in Newham, in Redbridge, in our community, that there is a such place. I know Southall Sisters do a lot of work with the Sikh community and Asian community, but if you don't have nothing in Newham, no one's going to be able to travel to Southall. আমরা গোড়া খাফতে খাফতে মরিছিলাম, আমরা 5 মিনিট লাগি টয়লেটে যাইতাম পারলাম না. How are we going to go to Southall?
Absolutely.
So we do need more access. We need more understanding. We need more empathy. We need more knowledge.
Maybe people like Niyam Council, or I'm just suggesting that তারা যদি ম্যাকপাই যেটা লোকে কিছু volunteers recruit করুন, one day a week, or every day somebody does a different person do it in that language. Maybe that could be good.
Exactly, but it's very important that we have more knowledge that what is abuse and how abuse works.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of time people think you just punch somebody and that's abuse, but there's more. There's deeper emotional, mental, physical, even sexual abuse. A couple of weeks ago I had a conversation with somebody and they said, oh, if you're married, how can your husband rape you? I'm sorry, he does. Because there's consent. And if you say no and you're fighting him off and he's forcing himself on you, that is sexual abuse. And when you're in a domestic abusive relationship, 80% of the time, your husband or your partner does sexually abuse you. So there's a lot of knowledge that needs to be gained. Young boys and girls need to learn about abuse.
We were discussing that the other day at the meeting.
Yes.
Probably school should have a
They
role, how to raise a child, and get better parenting classes as well. I mean, I attended a better parenting class, but they did not mention about treating your child, male or female, doesn't matter whoever they are, they should be treated equally. But they mention different things like bonding with your child, this, that, the other. But to raise the awareness of being a boy, it doesn't mean you have the rights to abuse your partner.
Exactly.
So it should be raised within your family and treat both child, girl and the boy, equally, rather than treating girl as a girl and boy as a boy. Then
that's where it goes wrong. Because when we were growing up, we, like, sisters were second-class citizen and the brothers were first class. I remember when my mom used to cook anything, they not find to dita shundor goose, and amra faitam leftover, So na amar fainte khawka, because amar fine boroyalle, they're gonna work and provide for us. I'm sorry, it's the daughters that are there for you now. But now we are growing up, we call our daughters angel. We say, oh, you're a princess, or you're beautiful. We give them that validation.
Definitely.
When I was growing up, my mom every day used to tell, you're an ugly child.
That's one thing didn't happen in our family. My both of my parents, they treated all of us equally. My brothers,
you're so lucky.
My brothers, they had to clean up the house.
Yeah.
One weekend, my brother has to make breakfast for every single one. It's like 5 sisters, 3 brothers, so 9 of us, plus both of our parents. So he has to make our breakfast. Then maybe one day he has to hoover up the place. Maybe another day clean up the windows. So we all had to take in turns.
Yeah.
Girls and the boys. So in our family, it was different.
Different.
My dad said boys need to learn as well.
Yeah.
Because my dad used to cook.
You
He
are
used to
very
enjoy,
lucky
he used to
to.
enjoy cooking. Although we
Yeah.
never liked his cooking, but
Yeah.
he used to enjoy cooking.
Yeah, but you are very lucky to have
I mean,
that
my dad, he
upbringing.
was very aggressive man as well at the same time. He
Yeah.
was, maybe that generation was like that.
They were
Dominating,
dominating.
we are
Because it was
man.
very culture based.
Exactly.
When we were growing up, because they had their own belief from the culture
Exactly.
that women should be like this and a man should be like that. But
Exactly.
to be honest, there is no such thing. A woman should be certain and a man
But
should be certain.
my dad always used to take my mom along to shopping.
Yeah.
Even if he went for a job interview, my mom had to go with him.
Wow, that's nice.
So I used to make a joke out of my mom that, oh, so you're going to be his assistant when he gets
Oh,
the job. And she used to
yeah.
laugh. She goes,
But did your parents ever say to you, oh, like, oh, you look really beautiful today. You look nice in your outfit. You got lovely hair.
my dad, he used to say nice things to
Yeah.
us.
You
Yes.
see, this is
But
the thing.
only the thing is, my dad couldn't stand us wearing sari because, you know, girls,
You
when they wear
shape their
sari,
body.
and the girls wearing sari, they look so grown up.
Yeah.
So grown up মানে হলো বিয়ার মাথায় বিয়া দিলে
Yeah.
তুই তাহলে will be leaving the house.
Yeah.
So আব্বা এটা পছন্দ করতো
Yeah.
না।
But the thing is, like, when you're growing up and your mom and dad are saying good things to you, making you feel positive, you grow up with that
Oh yeah,
positive
my mom
feeling.
used to enjoy watching me wearing sari.
Yeah.
She used to always buy me
So,
sari.
but when we were growing up,
They
we
were
were
say-
told
they used to
every
say
day,
nice things.
"Oh, you're so ugly. No man's gonna take you. How are we gonna
Oh,
get
no.
you married off?" So you grow up with that pain that nobody wants you. But even though it's not that important, for me now, whether they want me or not, I don't need no validation because I know who I am and I'm enough. You know, I don't feel threatened by whoever's in the room because end of the day, I am me. But because that pain is embedded in my brain, because your parents don't give you that positive feeling, you don't hate your parents. I hated myself. I didn't hate my mom and dad.
Even when we were younger, because আমরা তিন বোন ফুরে আমার ভাই হইছে।
Mhm.
So my dad used to like us dressed up in like shorts and shirts and things like that.
Yeah.
আবার কোনো জসিল না যে আমরা প্যান্ট শার্ট পিন্দি না সেলা কামিজ পিন্দি
Yeah.
প্রবলেম নাই। He used to enjoy watching us.
Yeah.
তার আর ভালো লাগে দেখতে
Yeah.
পিন্দে।
Because then you feel happy that your mom and dad are saying something good. They're making you feel happy, positive, and you don't feel like, oh, I'm the leftover part that I shouldn't belong here. You know, I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
here for, you know, because
That itself is abusive.
yeah,
You know, your daughter and son, how did they feel towards about that?
my daughter and son, because with children you can't hide nothing. They know everything. You might hide it for many years, but my daughter and son know the truth. I've never had to tell them this that. I've never said that you can't see your father, because end of the day, when I decided to have these kids, I decided to have it with this man. So that's my responsibility. Because suddenly it's not working for me, I'm not going to stop them seeing their father, you know. But if they want to, they have a choice. They can have a relationship. They can speak to him. They can see him, but it doesn't involve me, you know. Because end of the day, in the blood, by God, you'll always be their dad,
Definitely.
and you can't take that away.
So are they still seeing their dad?
My son's grown up. He's 23. He makes his own decision. But my daughter, sometimes she does text him, but he's got a lot of mental health issues. Sometimes she does get upset, but I explain to her, you know, he's not well, but he'll always be your dad. He might not support you, but she's very lucky because she's got amazing uncles. And sometimes they become the father figure for her, you know. But I think I've done a good job. So I've tried to be the best mom and dad and pull them through and like go on a healing journey with them and teach them what's right and wrong, and pray to God that they're okay.
I hope so.
I pray so.
Anyway, we've got a lot of comments. So shall we take the comments?
Yep.
আমরা তাহলে কমেন্ট গুলো নেই এখন।
If you can read them in Bengali, because I can't
I
read
can.
Bengali.
Right, Samad Chaudhary. He's always with us, Samad Chaudhary. Thank you আজকে আমাদের সাথে জয়েন করার জন্য। উনি লিখেছেন মহামূল্যবান লাইভটা সমগ্র সামাজিক যোগাযোগ মাধ্যমে বিভিন্ন বাঙালি কমিউনিটি গ্রুপে শেয়ার দিয়ে দিব ইনশাল্লাহ। ধন্যবাদ আপনাকে সামাদ চৌধুরী। উনি আবারও লিখেছেন 1 মাইল ফলো প্রোগ্রাম হয়ে থাকবে। জি ধন্যবাদ। Leading community media platform Relax Radio Bangla. ভালোবাসার অবিরাম রিল্যাক্স মিডিয়া। ভাই এত লম্বা কমে লিখেছেন এটা পড়া যাবে না। কায়েত লিডে লিখেছেন অ্যামেজিং মাই লাভ। Is that
Oh,
somebody you know?
thank you. No. Oh, thank you.
Because I don't know that person, so I couldn't even.
Thank
সামা
you.
চৌধুরী লিখছেন বইটা বাংলা ভার্সন নিয়ে আলোচনা করার আন্তরিক আহ্বান। He's asking, you know, the book you wrote to discuss that in Bangla. Maybe late another day you can come and we can discuss the book.
Yes, we
Bring
can
the book with us
definitely.
and
Yeah.
we can go through the paragraph.
Yes,
and,
definitely.
Yeah. Right. BAF Bangladesh Health Assistance Fund. They wrote, "Great to meet you both at the event of Women's Voice led by Shahina Appa." Thank you. Shahina Chaudhry লিখেছেন, Shahina Chaudhry helped to form the Magpie project. This is not enough for our Bangladeshi women and girls.
It's true.
Magpie cannot accommodate the cultural and religious needs of Bangladeshi women. They do not prevention and intervention measures. They do not do
Yeah, they
prevention.
don't. It's true. It's true.
Samachuri লিখেছেন, right is rights. Rights is rights. Okay. Shahina wrote again, access to services are non-existent due to funding from the government. That's a shame.
That's a shame because recently Hawa Project, who are in Bethnal Green,
Right.
and they work with the Somalian community and the Bangladeshi community because they're in that area. Their funding's been cut.
Wow.
And they applied.
Lot of the funding's been
It's
cut.
completely cut.
Can we have the comment that you just... Right. Shaina Chaudhry wrote again. Shaina Chaudhry has served the community since childhood. This is why Women's Voice Communication for International Women is pioneering this movement. A non-stop, well-invested hub for Bangladeshi women and girls. This should help the families and the correct intervention by them. Yes, I totally agree.
Yep, I agree too.
Thank you for coming live, Rezna Khatun, for sharing your story.
Thank you.
So that was all the comments that we had today. Before we've got another 7-8 minutes left. So before we go, what's your next adventure?
So,
you've written a book.
Yeah.
And how are you going to use that book to implement other women to come forward?
So what I'm working on a couple of little projects, but you know, when you go to events, a lot of people tell you a lot of things, and things don't come. You know, they promise you this and we want to do this and do that. And sometimes they just want to talk rubbish, sorry to say. But my next project that I am seriously working with someone is to translate the book in Bengali in Bangladesh.
Okay.
So it can be sold in Bangladesh or even give it to charities so women can have access and read it and see and understand what is abuse. And then, you know, maybe they can come out of their abusive relationship. So that's my next major project is getting read and translated in Bengali at the moment. So in a couple of weeks' time, I will find out. That's one. Second is I'm also working on a children's book, and that's called Mummy, What is Eid? Which is because I wasn't allowed to celebrate Eid. So my daughter always used to ask me, what is Eid? Because she's still learning in school. So I made up a story for her how we would have celebrated Eid if we were allowed to celebrate Eid by her dad. So I'm in communication and talking with the illustrators how to put the pictures right, because I don't want to do anything where it's going to upset individual. So that's my second. And the other thing is I just go to any events. Anybody invites me, whether it's 1 person, 10 person, I'm there. I'm supporting Shahina Chaudhry on her project because I think it's a very, very important project for women to access information. And hopefully anything else that comes, I'm just there.
Well, I did discuss with Shahina the other day. So maybe we can do something in Relax.
Of course.
For the women.
You know me, I'm always here. Uber and I'm here.
For the women. But it's going to be not in this
it's
location.
In your other
it's
studio.
in the other studio.
But I do have a dream. I don't know if anybody can make it come true. I'd like to meet Hasina Begum one day.
Hasina Begum. Prime Minister.
Prime Minister of Bangladesh.
You never
Because
know. You
do you
never
know what
know.
happened? I had a dream that I met the Queen of Buckingham Palace, but obviously she's passed away, rest in peace. And I went to my dad and I said, "Oh, Abba, আমি স্বপ্নে দেখছি
Queen
Queen."
দেখা হলো।
My dad said, "এরকম আই যেটা জীবনে খাম ওইতো না, এটা স্বপ্নে দেখিও না."
Oh,
So I was like, he just put me down. So I need to meet one queen or prime minister to show him in the picture that I met her. So that's my
you
request to
never know. You
anybody.
might do. You
If
might
anybody
do.
can make that come true, I'm ready.
Definitely. You might do. You never know what holds the next.
Yeah.
আর there is a saying, তুমি যদি
Milan bhai, if
তুমি
you
যদি
can hear me.
মন থেকে যদি কোনো কিছু চাও, then আল্লাহ
Yeah,
এটা
it's true.
পূরণ করেন। So
Yeah.
পূরণ
Well,
হইতে
I
পারে।
met the foreign minister. I met a couple of MPs and with my book, and they were very happy to, you know, let me take a picture with them. But because of what my dad said, I want to prove him wrong.
Why not?
Yeah. Instead of him being happy and positive, because ita স্বপ্নে দেখিস না বেটি, এটা জীবনে আইতো না, আমি আইতো না। তুই কিলা প্রাইম মিনিস্টারে মিট করবে হাসিনারে, ও পাইলিবে ঘুরে। And I was like, huh? You can't say that.
No,
You just
it-
trashed my dream.
They're human beings as well,
You
you know.
just trashed
so-
my dream.
না,
So হাসিনা বেগম আমি তো কাইরাম আপনারে।
না, you know, some dreams, most of the dreams, I think they do
Yeah.
come true.
Yeah,
It's
because
the way
I'm into like energy and dreams, and you know, I sort
you
of
have
like
to have that kind of faith.
yeah. So,
যে
but
আমার
be-
স্বপ্ন
I
একদিন পূরণ
I would
হবে।
like to prove my dad wrong now.
Yeah, definitely. One day you will.
He
I'm
was
sure.
very impressed with some of the other people I've met, but because of what he said, I want to get that picture with Hasina, you know, with her hand up like that. I'll do my hand up too.
Oh wow, okay. Well, at the end of the day, they are human beings, and
Exactly. Yeah.
you never know
Let's
where you
see.
might bump into her.
Bump into her. Yeah.
You know, it can happen. Nothing is impossible.
Nothing. Exactly.
You have to have that kind of faith on Allah, and Allah will make it happen.
Exactly.
So we've got 5 more minutes left, and
Do you know what? I just want to say a massive, massive thank you for having me. Even though I know you did chase me because I was all over the here and there, and I've seen you in quite a lot of events, and I do appreciate the work you do. And thank you for having me, because by being me here, at least I'm speaking in Bengali and English, and somebody's going to hear me. Somebody's going to say, "Hey, same thing's happening to me." Because
definitely.
আমরা মাইত্যা যদি একজন মানুষের ভিতরে একটা জিনিস হামায় যে না আমার
That's the whole idea of Relax
Yeah.
Radio. যে আমরা উদ্দেশ্য হলো যে Relax Radio মাধ্যমে যদি একটা মানুষ যদি
Yeah.
আমরা হতে একটা হুনিয়া তারা লাইফস্টাইল তারা
Yeah.
যদি say a perpetrator
Yeah.
এটা হুনিয়া বাদ
And he
করে
might think,
আমি
Yeah.
বিবাসী
yeah,
দুজন তো কেউ যদি ফিল করেন যে না
I'm
আমি
doing
আমার
something wrong.
পার্টনারের লোকে
It's wrong.
করলাম
Yeah.
I should be, because
Yeah.
if you think about it, you just mentioned that your ex, he's got problem,
Mhm.
mental health
Yeah.
problem. I think he had mental health problem from
is.
the day one.
Domestic abuse is connected to mental health. So we have to outline there's 2 things. Mental health is different than mental illness. Mental health is something that triggers you, that comes like you're feeling a bit depressed, you've got a bit of anxiety, you're not feeling comfortable in your body. Mental illness is when you need medication.
Medication.
So
Definitely.
mental health is connected to domestic abuse, because a lot of events I go to is always domestic abuse and connected with mental health. So we have to work on that. But the other thing is, in our culture, people find it very difficult to accept mental health.
Mental health বলতে তারা গেছে
তারা
লাগে
বুঝে
তুমি
তারা
পাগল।
পাগল।
But it's not পাগল.
It's not fagol. It's unbalance in yourself and in your mind.
Anybody can suffer from mental health.
Anybody, I could have a mental health tomorrow. I could wake up and say, "Hey, I feel so shit today. I feel so bad. Oh my God, I don't want to get out of bed. I feel depressed." That is mental health,
Definitely.
you know. But there's a lot of people who don't understand the difference in our culture. As soon as you say mental health, they think you're mad. You're going
Like
to be
especially women হল বাচ্চা হওয়ার পরে তারা কিন্তু ডিপ্রেশনে যায়।
yeah.
কিন্তু এটার আমরা সিরিয়াসলি নেই না।
Mhm.
আমরা চিন্তা করি যে ওমেন হল তোমার কিন্তু ফলা বাচ্চা হইছে নি, আর মানুষের বাচ্চা অন্য নেই,
Yeah.
তোমার খালি মন খারাপ থাকেনি, আর
Yeah.
কেউ বাচ্চা হইছে না, তোমার মারা
আমরা
বিয়ে
উষ্টা মারি
হইছে,
নয় হুরুতা ওয়াইছি
এটা হইছে,
ফালছি
ওটা হইছে। But
মেশিনও কাম করছি
we don't think that আমরা সব কিন্তু সমান নাই।
Yeah.
Not everybody has same coping mechanism.
Yeah.
এখন হতলান কোপ
It's
করে।
true.
ফলা বাচ্চার সময় যেরকম you might feel okay. Second বাচ্চার সময় you might suffer.
Yeah.
Third one, you might get worse.
You might have postnatal depression.
Exactly.
You might feel down and not being able to do everything that you want to do. It's different on every time. So, I mean, it is hard, but there is information and you need to access this information. End of the day, like I always say, we are the healers of our own mind and body, and we have to find that emotional, mental balance. It is hard, but it can be achieved.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you. আমরা যাওয়ার আগে তুমি আমরা শ্রোতাদের উদ্দেশ্যে কোনো কিছু বলতে?
I'd just like to say thank you for everybody who's listening, and thank you, Mr. K.
Mr. K. Is that your future? Okay, বুঝলাম।
Oh God.
Anyway, thank you so much. আপনারা যারা আমরা লগে এত সময় দেখছেন, প্লিজ ভিডিওটা শেয়ার করবা। শেয়ার করলে কিন্তু অনেক ইনফরমেশন আছে যেটা অনেকের কাজে লাগবে। আমি এখন পুরা সিলেটি মাতি যাইরাম।
তুমি যে সুন্দর সুইচ করছো, ঢাকায়া সিলেটি ইংলিশ।
আশা করি আপনারা ভিডিওটা শেয়ার করবেন। শেয়ার করলে অনেকের উপকার হতে পারে। অনেক ইনফরমেশন দেওয়া আছে যেটা রেজনা আমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করেছেন। সো আগামী সপ্তাহে আমি নতুন কোন গেস্ট নিয়ে আসবো আপনাদের সাথে। সবাই ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন আর অবশ্যই রিল্যাক্স রেডিওর সাথে থাকবেন। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
Thank you.
সকাল দুপুর সন্ধ্যা রাতে তোমার আমার কথা হবে রিল্যাক্স রেডিও বাংলায়। রিল্যাক্স রেডিও বাংলা।
রিল্যাক্স রেডিও বাংলা, সারাদিন সারাক্ষণ।